The numbers may be going down, but there are still people contracting COVID. One local family is celebrating the survival of a loved one who was diagnosed with the virus on, get this, her 104th birthday. Let's get to Paula Tutman with this story. And Paula, this family says it's a great example of how getting vaccinated is the right choice.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, great to see you on the 4. Welcome. Yeah, you know what? This is a family that takes this disease very, very seriously. In fact, probably more seriously than most, and then multiply that by 104. And here's why. Her name is Pearl, a spicy centenarian. She has been a frequent guest on her granddaughter's social media pages. Miss Pearl is a super survivor. She has survived bouts with cancer, contracted the H3N2 influenza virus during the 1968 flu pandemic. She survived that April 21st on her 104th birthday.
They diagnosed her with COVID. We got the COVID. I just knew I thought that was it.
What's incredible is this is a family that believes in safety. Had Pearl not gotten sick, she would have gotten the COVID vaccine. But everyone else around her already had.
But my sister came here. She was inoculated fully, and she still tested positive. So we had a whole hospital, everyone that had the virus. Except for my oldest son who had taken off. He ran away. He ran away. We didn't see him for weeks.
They believe the family did not get deathly ill because the vaccines worked. And they believe Miss Pearl survived because of her previous exposure to the H3N2 influenza virus 53 years ago.
I thought that this was it. But she never once needed a ventilator. They gave her oxygen for a few days, and they kicked her out the hospital. They said, come get her. So it was amazing.
This is Miss Pearl just a few days after returning home from the hospital and returning to social media.
It's nothing but the blood of Jesus that covered us.
But just this week, the family has seen what looks like long haulers setting in. And when you're 104 years old and looking at a long road to recovery, there is more road behind you than in front of you. Yet there are signs she's already starting to come back. This was her yesterday.
God been good to me. Oh.
And the family is resolved she will pull through. And because this is a woman who takes a licking and keeps on ticking, she is scheduled to start her COVID vaccine shots next week.
She took a big beating, but she still came home, and she was still talking and still cracking jokes and still being herself.
Yeah, this is a family. They believe in those vaccinations. And like I said, she should be vaccinated next week, provided that she is still up for it. And again, they believe the fact that they were inoculated, or at least partially inoculated. They believe that's the reason the entire family didn't get seriously sick with COVID-19. Obviously, they believe age, not a factor. Get that vaccine. Jason?
I think it's more maybe Pearl's just one tough bird, that's for sure. And Paula,
yeah,
you know,
that too. Yeah,
I
right.
love that so many stories that you've worked on kind of uncover an angle we haven't thought of. It's not so much she needed the vaccine, it's that she was protected by everyone around her getting it.
Yeah, well, she was actually ill and had to go to the hospital about a week or so before she contracted it. So she was in the emergency room. They said there was no distancing. That's where they believe she actually got COVID, was in the emergency room. But again, they weren't as sick because all of them had at least a partial vaccination.
Right. Good stuff, Paula. I love Pearl. Thank you so much for sharing her story.
Right? Me too. Thanks.